Hi everybody, and I just thought, well, this could be another interesting brochure type thing that people might be interested in. I mean, it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I just thought it was rather intriguing, actually, what type of accessories that you could get for your Holden. Um, a lot of the things that are in there, I mean, of course, as time went on, became the norm. But back in '66, well, especially with the HR model, a lot of the things were, add-ons. You didn't get it with your standard Holden HR special. So you were given a Nasco accessories for Holden, and of course Nasco were the parts and accessories company that was an offshoot of Holden, so they made all the parts that were specifically for Holden's. I think they might have made a few parts for some other manufacturers as well, but primarily they were doing things for Holden. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's get in and have a look and see what we get. So then it says, design with your new Holden in mind, Nasco accessories. And it goes on about the being designed and approved by General Motors Holden, giving your gleaming new car that's something extra that puts it in a class of its own. And I mean, I must say, some of the little finer bits, little extra chrome pieces and whatever they certainly did make or dress up your standard Holden anyway. And it comes with a 12 months warranty or 12,000 mile warranty. Your guarantee of complete satisfaction. So yeah, they obviously had a lot of faith in their product, and so did Holden's, and they were approved by Holden's, of course. So yeah, they couldn't say, "Oh, this is a terrible thing. Don't put it on there." Like a lot of some of the aftermarket stuff that you get today, even though it says it's fits your car, it's absolute rubbish. But yeah, and then we move on to the Air Chief, the sound of motoring pleasure, and of course it takes you take your choice of any of these high fidelity Air Chief models. So if we move over here, we have a selection of the different Air Chief radios that you could get in your car, which is quite interesting. And of course, the top two here, they fitted in where the blanking plate was next to the cigarette lighter on the HR, if I remember correctly. And the knobs were actually the same as the choke and the windscreen wiper washer, if I remember correctly too. And then of course there was an under the dash model, which was actually a portable that you could just pull out and take it off somewhere and listen to music while you were down the beach or something. And then when you got back to your car, you could shove it back into the car again. So the other two were fixed models, and this one here was just a portable. And then of course the rear mounted speaker, single mounted speaker. Very, 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 very posh, hey. And then of course down the bottom there, it's got the old antenna mount that was fitted to the as most of them were, often on the left hand side of the front guard of the car. And then of course we go into the warm ride car heaters, temperatures and controls at your fingertips. So as most people probably knew back in the day, you didn't get any of those hit things there. Certainly you didn't get air conditioning, and you didn't get a heater. So unless you were stipulated that you wanted it or got it aftermarket like this, I mean the provisions were there. But yeah, another thing that you just was virtually like an option there, you know. So if you didn't have a heater, you broke out the knee rug. And of course, air conditioning, well, that was the wind down the windows in the summer. So yeah, it was a very interesting time. And when you think, not that long ago, I mean, yeah, what I'm talking, what, 50, 60 years ago, when in the scheme of things, it wasn't all that long ago, really. But yeah, you must say how things have improved slightly. Mind you, they're going backwards with them now, aren't they? And then we go to enjoying the great outdoors with your accessories to help you. So we had a telescopic rear view mirror, tow bars, Nasco power brakes, and a wheel chock. So for all your towing needs and whatever else, there you could actually get all of this stuff too from Nasco to help you, pull a, well, as it shows there, a boat. Funny about that, isn't it? I think I did a video yesterday or the day before, another car pulling a boat. Seemed to be the theme of the flavour here in Australia about towing boats or something, and showing how much power cars have got. But anyway, that's getting off the subject. Yeah, so of course you didn't get a tow bar or things like that. So yeah, you could run along to your local Nasco dealer or Holden dealer and get the part and have it fitted. Same with the Nasco power brakes and that for extra stopping power. And then we go to the external accessories for some extra glamour and protection and convenience. So if we start at the top there, we had the weather shield, which were quite effective actually. Um, they're almost the same size as the one that's on the Magna. The Magna is just a little bit more, what would you say, aerodynamic, but very, very effective. And it just means that you can have the window down, and you're not getting blasted with cold air or air coming in there. So they actually work very, very well. I know the modern ones, like fitted on a couple of cars that I know, very, very thin, very ineffective at all. They're just really there as a bit of a token piece. But yeah, the old ones certainly worked a lot better and did their job well. And then we've got the high note horn. So I don't know why you had a high note one. I don't know what a standard horn sounded like. But anyway, that was a high note horn that you could get with it. And then we go into a reversing lamps. Lights up automatically when you engage reverse gear and provides a broad pathway of light, it says, behind the car. So, of course, like most cars now, well, for a very long time, they actually put in another light which was white, and that was engaged as the reversing lights. But previous to that, because you only had your brake and indicators, so you could get a little attachment that would go onto your reverse gear and light up the indicator lights, both indicator lights, so that you could see a little bit behind you when you were reversing. And then we had the rear wheel covers, which were, sort of a bit of a dress piece sort of thing, not a necessary thing. Mind you, a bit on those cars, I think that would have been a bit, made it a little bit harder to change your tyre, because you would have had to take that bit off before you got your wheel off. And then we've got the rubber cushion bumper guards, which I think they looked, yeah, I think I've seen some of those on some of the older HRs, and yeah, they're sort of dressed. They're more just a dressy piece, although they were sort of saying they were a rubber cushion bumper guard. sort of thing, so you didn't scratch your nice chrome. And then we've got the painted protection or paint protection platters that went behind the handles on the cars, and yeah, they were a nice accessory. They're only aluminium. Actually, I've got one, and it's just a bit of aluminium that's been pressed out. It's got a few grooves in it and a little Holden line down the bottom. You know, nothing real fancy, and I think they were just stuck on the door with a bit of glue. But yeah, they sort of made the car look good, and they were effective from nails scratching paintwork. And then we go into the fender rear view mirror. So they were the mirrors that were fitted onto the front fenders of the car. And then we had the Nasco mud flaps and the wheel trim rings. A little mirror that was fitted onto your weather shield. And then we've got the body seal mouldings, which were down on the of the seal of the car, down the bottom. The locking petrol cap, insect screen for the radiator, and a hood ornament that went on the front hood of your new Holden, which, yeah, was very, very cool. I've only seen a few like that. I have seen the petrol coat and cap locking one. I think that was a very popular option because, you know, fuel theft was quite a big thing at one time. Before that, you know, even the Commodore just had my Commodore just had a twist-on cap. You opened up the Phillip flap, and it was just a twist cap, one turn, and you could shove a pipe straight down there and suck all the petrol out. So, and if anybody's got any ideas, I have got a lock on it now. So, yeah, just be warned. And then we go into some internal nicings and practical uses. So we've got the visor vanity mirror for your sun visor. So you could have a mirror fitted to that, so your passenger could doll themselves up while you were going out somewhere, put a bit of lipstick on or something like that. And then we have the floor mats and the gear lever lock. So like was very popular back in the 80s and 90s, a steering wheel lock which went across the whole steering wheel to stop the steering wheel from being turned. These ones had a ring that you could put around to stop the gears being engaged, so to prevent theft. And then we had the pull handles for inside, so you didn't have to use the handles that were already there. You could have a nice little chrome handle and a cool ride cushion for your seat. Yeah, I wish we had one of those when I remember my dad had the HR. And having vinyl seats, although he did have a seat cover on it, but of course in those days I was sitting in the back most of the time, and that didn't have a seat cover on it. And wearing shorts, hot vinyl, not a good mix. Very, very burnt legs. And then we've got the seat belts. So you could have lap type seat belts or that type of thing. I think, yeah, Dad's did have it had two seat belts at the front, one for the driver and one for the passenger. But didn't have any other seat belts in that. And then, of course, the rear seat handrail for the passengers. I suppose that was to stop them if the driver was going a bit fast or whatever there, and gave you something to hang on to. Although I do remember in the back seats, they are either side. They used to have what would you call it? Like a hanging bit that hang down, and it press studded against against the side of the car on the inside, and you could actually pull it out, and that was like a holding on thing. Probably wouldn't do much if you were hanging on, trying to hang on to that when you know you were in a collision or something there to stop you from going forward. But you know, it was the best at the time, and probably that rail there knocked out a lot of teeth on little young kids too. And then you could also get a nice suitcase set of suitcases, so you could go away, and all provided for you. And obviously they were made that they'd fit all in the boot of the Holden. And you could get an under parcel shelf for under the dashboard there, as you can see. And then you could get your Venetian shades for the back, an anti-glare mirror mask. So instead of the idea that came along later that you flip the mirror down, this one you had a little, almost like a pair of sunglasses to put over the top of your rear vision mirror. And you could then have a handbrake warning lamp fitted. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they would have had something like that, but obviously whether it had a globe or whether it was connected or not, so it was an extra feature. And then you had a very primitive looking seatbelt retractors, so that your seatbelt could be wound back into a little ball, so to speak. And another anti-glare rear vision mirror. So obviously this one already had something on there to you know, stop the glare. Had some coating or something on it. And then we have the other one there with the glove box courtesy lamp. So had a little switch there, of course, so when you opened up your glove box it would turn on the little lamp so you could see what was in the glove box at night. And now we move into commercial vehicle, which of course was the ute. And for that it looks like you could get a sunshade and a utility rope rail that went around the side there, so you could tow your load down or whatever there. And this one is a bit of a double paging one. I hope I can get most of that in. It's glaring a bit, I'll just hold it up a bit there. And it says for the station wagon owners. So down the bottom here we've got a luggage compartment cover, so that you could put all your little bits and pieces there and, you know, nobody would see. And then you could have your Venetian blind shades on the side. They look a bit familiar. And your dust deflector. I think they were pretty effective from what I remember people talking about, those dust deflectors, because they sort of brought the air that was flowing across the top of the car and deflected it down and pushed it across the back window and kept it pretty well dust free, which was a very much a bonus, especially on a station wagon. And then we have the luggage compartment mat, so a nice little mat that you could put over the back of your station wagon there and make it look all nice and pretty. And of course there's a nice drawing of a family, obviously out with their picnic with their little esky and other bits and pieces in their new Holden station sedan, as they called it. Not a wagon, station sedan. Who remembers that when they were called station sedans? I think actually one of them, the other earlier models of the Holden, actually had it a badge of writing across the back, didn't it? I think on the side, and it had station sedan. So yeah, before we got Americanized and just called them wagons. And then on the back here we've got about why take chances with your new Holden, and it just goes on to say about you know, why would you choose anything else but, you know, genuine Holden parts and and risk your new car without all these, new Holden parts in it or replacement parts. And you could do a purchase plan as well. If you couldn't afford it, you could do like a purchase plan for it as well. So yeah, they certainly went into it in a big way, and trying to keep their customers happy. And like I said, a lot of this stuff that's in there, well, we sort of take it for granted and more. But back in the day, that was real big time stuff, really. So there we have it. There's the Nasco's accessory booklet for 1966-67 for the new HR model. Yeah, a very interesting little brochure with all your bits and pieces that you could dress up and add on to your new pride and joy in 1966. I suppose a lot of these parts now would be either rare or very, very expensive if you could find them. There's probably some hiding away in shed somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And like I said, like we say, if you do like the video, please leave a like. And don't forget, if you like one of the types of videos that I'm doing, not to subscribe as well. So until next time, cheers for now. Thanks, guys.